I would rather die than to add new features to this decade-old pile of code, but I have a month to add new features. So I will do what any sensible person would do, a full rewrite. No, we don't have time for a rewrite. We need to deliver new features. Trust me, you don't want me to touch this code ever again. And you think you can reproduce 10 years of work in just 1 week? This next event could make or break our business. Alright, I promise we will add new features, okay? You'd better be. So no pressure. The whole business is at stake. We will need to add new features while we are doing a rewrite. But this isn't just a pointless challenge. I will show you my system for successful rewrites. You will see me doing it in practice. And if you pay attention, you will learn a skill that will let you get rid of any legacy code without asking for permission. So, we have 2 rules for this challenge. I'm not allowed to make any significant changes to the existing code base, and I need to deliver new features by the 18th of September, which is the date of the next Lean Poker event. I desperately need a plan. But first, I need to show you the app that we are working on and explain you why the rewrite is so important. This is Lean Poker Live, the application that makes Lean Poker events possible. That is a workshop where a bunch of engineers gather for a day and they try to improve on their poker bots, as the bots are already playing. It's a great challenge and it can teach you a lot about delivering more value to users while doing less work. But I already made a longer video about Lean Poker, which is linked down below, so be sure to check that out. For now, the important part is that we have this dashboard that provides up-to-date information on how teams are performing, about deployments and other metrics. But here is the problem, it's not really up to date, because you need to manually refresh the page to see the latest data. Not to mention that it looks quite cluttered and outdated. So in my defense, at the time I was a backend developer. I hacked this together in a few weekends and it was fine until Lean Poker was a side gig. But now it's the cornerstone of my business. This needs to change. So here is the plan. I will use the same technique I talked about at different conferences to approach this rewrite. You can find the link to the talk in the description. The bottom line is that we are going to implement the new features as part of a new product. And then we will gradually integrate the new product with the old product until it replaces it. This strategy completely flips conventional wisdom on its head by creating our own internal competition instead of fighting competition. But this is a strategy that I used successfully before. Specifically, I want to start by re-implementing the leaderboard and the trend chart. And this will create a new live dashboard that people can put on large screens at in-person events. It will lack a lot of the old features, but it will be in addition to and not instead of. With the plan in place, I headed to my balcony, where I quickly set up a new app with Next.js and started implementing the leaderboard. It wasn't long before I hit my first roadblock. This was kind of expected, but I won't be able to call the old backend due to the whole cross-origin resource sharing policy thing. Anyway, I just proxy the code for now. I used an LLM to quickly build a TypeScript client based on the source code of the old Ruby API. With the AI doing the heavy lifting, I saved hours of manual work. This almost feels like cheating. Once that was out of the way, I made good progress, and by the end of the day, I had a working leaderboard that automatically updated. On day 2, I started by adding some nice animations to my dashboard, and then I quickly implemented the trend chart using Chart.js. This is where the benefits of using GitHub Copilot started to show. Okay, so I never used Chart.js before, but with LLMs, this job is really simple. Look at this. I can just specify what I want to change on the chart, and it will look at my existing code and generate the new version. When I refresh, I should see the deployments on the chart. By the end of day 2, I had a nicely animated dashboard, and I even added a new feature that Llewellyn Falco requested. And there we have vertical lines where there were breaks. At this point, I was almost out of time, but I had one last change to make. After that, it was demo time. So if the user navigates to our old dashboard, now they can see this link, try the new dashboard. And if they click on that, that brings them to this shiny new page that not only updates automatically, but it is nicely animated. I also hidden the less relevant details from the dashboard, so it looks less cluttered. On the other hand, if the user opens the item, they still see the same info, and it is also easier to understand with the added details. It looks really nice. I agree, but does it have to be a separate page? It's not a great user experience. For now, yes, but we will fully integrate the dashboard in the next sprint. The foundation is solid and the rest will follow. Sounds good for me. Yeah, I mean, I'm still a bit worried about your little rewrite project, but good job so far. We have made good progress, but there is still a lot of work to be done. In the next video, I will integrate the new dashboard with the old app. It will be a bit tricky, so don't miss out on that. Subscribe now and you will be the first to know about it.